Saudi Arabia Water Desalination Project. Saudi Arabia, a country made up of mostly deserts, needed to find a way to produce clean, potable water for its people. There are few rivers and lakes in Saudi Arabia that allow for natural vegetation due to a lack of rainfall in the region. The country has turned to the process of desalination by way of distillation and reverse osmosis. Desalination has been a known topic in Saudi Arabia for many years. In 1965, Saudi Arabia's Ministry of Agriculture established a desalination department. Later in 1969, two desalination plants were built in Duba and Alwa, two cities in the country. Distillation is a process in which seawater is boiled into making fresh water. Reverse osmosis is the process of filtering the salt out of ocean water and has huge investments. Much of the water used for desalination comes from the Persian Gulf, and with some added heat and pressure, fresh water is produced for the country to use. In result of Saudi Arabia's extreme desalination efforts, it has become the largest producer of desalinated water in the world. Clean desalinated water allows for the people of Saudi Arabia to survive and grow crops. Once arid deserts have now been transformed into fields lush with greenery. Desalination has allowed Saudi Arabia to grow and export crops, and now the country makes money from exporting its own wheat, dates, and fish, along with other products. Most of the 27 desalination plants in the country, 3 million cubic meters of potable water is produced each day. This water provides 70% of the water used in Saudi cities and acts as a major source of electric power generation.
Currently, 50% of Saudi Arabia's drinking water comes from desalination plants. As mentioned before, the need for water in irrigation and consumption is clear. These plants are working on improving their efficiency in supplying water to the public, yet the drawbacks are clear. There are few cities in the city that have consistent water supply. One report notes that in Riyadh, water is available only once every 2.5 days in 2011, while in Jeddah it is available only every 9. Furthermore, the water that is supplied has high levels of fluoride, which is far beyond what is recommended. Another major disadvantage in these plants is their impact on the environment. After purifying water, the brine is redeposited into the ocean. Brine consists of chemicals, heavy metals, and cleaning product from the purification process. This excess is dumped into the ocean, and the change in salinity lowers the levels of oxygen. Animals in these habitats are shocked by the high salt concentration and often die as a result. Finally, the plant operators are working towards converting to solar power, but as of now, their use of fossil fuel contributes greatly to the excess of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere.
As a result of Saudi Arabia's desalination plants, Saudi Arabia is the largest producer of fresh water from the sea. Now, 50% of Saudi Arabia's drinking water comes from the desalination plants that have helped resolve their water crisis. With this success, Saudi Arabia plans to build several more desalination plants by the year 2020. Not only does the construction of these giant water filters supply the population with water, it also provides thousands of job opportunities to boost the country's economy. Although this project produces many economic benefits, desalination results in large amounts of brine that poses a threat to marine biology. In addition, the construction of desalination plants can cost an upwards of $6 billion, making the project unattainable for many countries. Saudi Arabia is investing $24.3 billion through 2020 in order to build more desalination plants.
Currently, not much has changed besides the fact that more desalination plants are being constructed in Saudi Arabia. In 13 months, a record number of 1.4 million cubic meters of desalinated water was produced by the Saline Water Conservation Corp. This production has been economically effective and hasn't required any additional capital costs. Additionally, more plants will be built. A budget of $24.3 billion is being put towards more plants that are slated to be completed by 2020. Going forward, these plants want to work on efficiency and accessibility so everyone can get potable water.